Hello everyone, welcome to Nareen's Life with MS. This is Nareen and it's time for Thoughtful Thursday. And this Thoughtful Thursday, I thought about, well, of course, I thought it is Thoughtful Thursday. But the one thing that I did want to mention was something that I know I have, something that I know I've been fighting, and it definitely matches up with, the hard truth, the hard reality, which has been a common sort of theme this entire week. And the hard thing I want to talk about today is kind of a defeatist attitude that I see in myself, and it comes and goes. It's not something that is always there, even though sometimes it actually feels like it's always there. But one of the things that I was covering in the meditation retreat was realizing that I am very prone to hoping for failure in certain ways, right? Having a very defeatist attitude, and to the point that if I feel like success isn't going to be that easy, that I would generally tend towards failure, right? That I would pretty much go into self-sabotage mode, more or less. And it is one of those things that I do know that I do know that I'm fighting, because one of the things is, uh, I do notice that I am walking a little better, but at the end of the day, I know the second that I stumble a little bit, I do something or the other that is not a positive thing, then I'll probably reverse back to thinking that it does not happen, or it's not something that I can succeed in. And it's not something that um, it is something that I've had to contend with pretty much my entire life. And so for me, a lot of times, especially when I do something, I try not to be too, um, I try not to be uh, too forward with it. I try not to be too passionate about it. Just knowing that, just as easily it could not succeed, and that one failure is all that it will take for me to just say no, right? And I know that it's probably not the best thing to, it's not, definitely it's not the best uh, you know sort of personality to have, especially when you have something like MS, where literally you're fighting every day for it, and or against it, and every day you're fighting to become a little better. But a lot of times it could be the smallest of things, right? You could just stumble a little bit, or your foot drags on the floor, or something or the other happens, and you might get a little too tired while brushing your teeth. and it could pretty much result in a spiral going down. And as a result, this whole defeatist attitude that has been there for a very long time, it's it's something that I am trying to fight, and something that I'm trying to find ways to go about reversing it, or at least finding ways to just say that I can do better than what I'm doing right now. Um, so that is something that I'm really trying to fight by myself, so that eh, at least I can celebrate even the small victories, or maybe celebrate the small victories with a little more fanfare, just so it it I can feel, or I can at least um, what is the word that I'm looking for, I can at least appreciate the um, the work that it took to get this small victory. Because a lot of times, and I know this is common with a lot of people, and I have mentioned it, that even when we have small victories, we try to go for the slightly bigger victory next, right? We try to um, just say that, okay, this is good, but what's next? And of course, I have mentioned this, that every day I try to look at it as a better day than the previous one. But rather than say that, uh, uh, maybe a better way to say it is, can I end any day better than how it started out? Right? So we are looking at evaluating each day as itself, not comparing it to whether it's better than the previous day, you know or the next day is going to be better, so that um, so that it maybe reduces a little bit of this attitude, right? A little bit of this personality. So that is a little bit of thoughtfulness this Thursday. And please do share your own thoughts, insights, experiences, your opinions about whether you experience this sort of defeatist attitude as well. And if you realize that you do, what are some ways that you are looking to overcome it, or at least live with it in such a way that you can still get the most benefit out of your day? So yes, please do that. And of course, with that said, this has been Narain Sai with MS. I am Narain, and here's wishing you a good night, sweet dreams. And as you can kind of guess, today is Thursday, so the weekend is right around the corner. So just stay in there, hang in there for just another day, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye.